that everyone can hear me. All right. So if you can access your chat, if you can just quickly put in a yes if you are here in the session. And if we are audible, you can see us, you can see our slides. So we know you are with us. Could you please quickly type in a yes in the chat box?
Yes, we are live, Priyanka and Saesha. Please go ahead.
Okay. Okay, sure. Great. Thank you so much, Vaibhav. Thank you, Kashish. Thank you, Shashwati. Great. Lovely. So we are just going to continue. Uh, so to begin with, what we're actually going to start is with something that we call an emotional check-in. And the invitation to all of us today is we are all coming in into this space, into this workshop space after a long day, probably. We have all gone through and experienced many different things, many different emotions in the day. Um, Also, a quick disclaimer, both of us will be using English and Hindi as a language in a mix of it. So I hope everyone's comfortable with it. If you are not, please do text and put it in the chat. We will translate in whichever language you are comfortable with, either Hindi or English. Both of us can speak both of it. तो शुरुआत करने के लिए एक छोटे से इमोशनल चेक इन के साथ करेंगे. सवाल हम सबके लिए ये है कि we've come from many different places, many different things in the day. आज का आपका इमोशनल वेदर कैसा है? आप आज अंदर कैसा महसूस कर रहे हैं? How are you feeling as you begin today's day? Take a moment to just pause, check in within. If you need to close your eyes, if you need to take a deep breath, how has the day been for you? आप कैसा महसूस कर रहे हैं? Are you feeling really sunny today? क्या आज का वेदर काफी रेनी है, काफी ग्लूमी रहा है, बहुत केओटिक रहा है? हैज इट बीन लाइक अ व्हर्लविंड? भूचाल मची है क्या? क्या आज आप काफी फ्रस्ट्रेटेड रहे हैं, या मे बी बहुत एक्साइटमेंट रहा है, होपफुल रहा है, ब्रीजी रहा है, रिलैक्स्ड एंड काम रहा है? हाउ हैज योर डे बीन टुडे? I can see a few responses coming in. Priyanka says hopeful. Thank you. We'll wait for a few more responses in the chat. Check in with yourself. What is your weather inside today? Partly sunny. Thank you, Shashwati. Somewhat breezy. Thank you, Kashish. Hopeful. Great. Great. So we're really happy that most of us, it seems like, are on a spectrum where it's been breezy or we're hopeful or happy. अगर कोई है हम में से जिनका शायद आज दिन इतना अच्छा नहीं गया हो, the request or the invitation is please take care of yourself today. Thank you, Garima, for sharing कि काफी rushed रहा है. Take a moment, take a pause, you can breathe. Do whatever you need to do for the next 1 hour just to be able to relax and be with us. We hope that the next 1 hour helps you to relax yourself and sit back and take it calm. So thank you very much. Please do what you need to do to be with us through this session. After having acknowledged these emotions, after having acknowledged कि हम कैसा महसूस कर रहे हैं, तैयार होने के बाद हम आगे बढ़ने वाले हैं. What we are going to do is we're actually going to step into experiences directly. So before we talk about हम क्लास में और हम बच्चों के साथ पैंडेमिक के टाइम पे हमारे इंसाइट्स क्या थे, ये सारी चीज़ों के बारे में बात करने से पहले let's just step into doing a few experiences and seeing what that feels like. So for this first one, the invitation is going to be, we're going to do a tiny mindfulness exercise. And I invite all of us to be able to first sit in a comfortable posture. आप जहाँ पर भी बैठे हैं, comfortably बैठिए. अगर आप चेयर पर बैठे हैं, पैर आपको नीचे ज़मीन पे रखना है, फोल्ड करके रखना है, बैक आपकी स्ट्रेट रहे, आप रिलैक्स तरीके से बैठें. And the invitation is for all of us to close our eyes. I'm going to play a piece of music. I would like if someone can quickly do give me a check when you hear the music, if you can hear it. So Priyanka, let me know when you can. When I tell you, I'll play it.
Yeah.
And what we're going to do is, as you hear the music, we're just going to bring our attention to different parts of our body, sir se lekar pair tak. So from your head to your, till your toes, every part of your body, just become aware of the different parts of your body. Keep breathing in and out. So it says slide is frozen and they can't hear. Can you hear us now? Can you give us a quick yes if you can hear us?
I can hear you clearly.
Priyanka, you can hear me. Okay. India says yes, we can. All right. So I'm just going to continue. Now it's working. Great. Thank you, Mamta. So we're going to continue. So instructions quickly again. We're just going to sit comfortably, back straight. We're going to close our eyes and we're just going to focus on different parts of our body, become mindful of different parts of our body, and keep taking deep breaths. All right. Can you hear the music?
Nah. Can you hear my music?
Yes.
Yes, now I can hear.
All right. So we'll close our eyes and we bring our focus to our head. Relax your facial muscles. Relax your jaw, your neck. Relax your back. Relax your arms. हाथों को रिलैक्स कीजिए. उंगलियों को रिलैक्स कीजिए. Relax your stomach. Relax your hips. Relax your thighs, your knees, घुटनों को. Relax your legs, your toes. Become aware of your breath. Take deep breaths in and out. If any part of your body feels really tight, try and loosen it. Now just stay with your breath and relax for a few seconds. Slowly bring yourself back into this present moment. As you hear the music fading slowly, feel free to rub both your palms against each other. Place them on your eyes, on any part of the body that you feel requires your touch, requires some support. Any part of your body that feels very tight, वहाँ थोड़ा छूइए, सहलाइए, relax कीजिए muscle को and bring yourself back into this space. आंखें खोल सकते हैं.
Thank you, Saesha and Priyanka. Thank you for having patience. A lot of technical problems. So I would, before you start with the main course, the starter was very good, very calming. I would like to introduce both of you. I introduce myself. I'm Pragna and I'm on the National Committee of AECED. Today we'll witness a very interesting workshop by Apni Shala Foundation. They are a Mumbai-based NGO. Their workshop is titled Centering Wellbeing for Children in the Virtual and Physical World. Apni Shala conducts socio-emotional learning programs, holds personal and professional development spaces for educators. They have a vision to transform education and empower children through creativity, innovation, and participation.
Imtiaz, I think we've lost Pragna, ma'am.
Yeah.
Imtiaz, shall we continue? I'm hoping we can.
Someone is sharing the screen.
I think Imtiaz only is.
Hmm.
Yes, Pragna ma'am is back. Grishma, should we continue, Grishma? because Pragna ma'am is, I think her screen is frozen.
Okay, she's not able to be here.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. I'll call her up. No worries.
Shall we
Was she
continue?
supposed to say anything right now or
She
no?
was just introducing us, I think. We had just begun and
I
finished one
can see
piece.
her. I'll just get her on screen once. Let's
Sure,
see if she's able to speak
sure,
anything. This sometimes happens when the network is a little weak. So
sure.
let's wait. I can see Pragna ma'am. Pragna ma'am, can you see us? You'll have to unmute. You'll have to unmute.
Grishma, I finished introducing them. They did
Okay.
they gave us starter very calming music and made them do an activity. So now they will continue with their
That's
presentation.
all right, ma'am. All right. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
I'm going off stage then.
Yeah.
Pragna ma'am, shall we continue then?
Yes, yes.
All right, thank you. Okay, sorry for the interruption in between. We're hoping if a few people who are with us, if you can share any thoughts or feelings from the experience of mindfulness that came up for you, we welcome that in the chat. If you did do it, if you managed to be with yourself, any emotions, any feelings that came up, please do share in the chat box. This also helps us just get a sense of how many of us we are with.
Nothing in the chat box.
Okay.
Very calming. Noticed wandering of the mind and got it back. Felt relaxed.
Great.
It
Appreciate
was
that.
relaxing and helped me tap into the space. Feel relaxed physically. Mind is calm.
Lovely.
Calming, and
Lovely.
also at a point I was blank. I think that's a very good thing, no, to be blank.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing, everyone who did. We hope that this has helped us just to bring ourselves into the session, because now we are moving into the next piece, which we are going to try and make it a little interesting and actually move around. Okay. So be ready to play with your screens a little bit, because that's something we do a lot in our daily life.
Voice gone, voice gone.
We can't hear you.
Yeah. Saesha, we can't hear you.
Do you want to leave and join back? So till this time Saisha is joining back, if we can take some paper colors with us for our next activity that Saisha will lead. So if you have some paper or colors with you, you can just show me a thumbs up.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, yes.
Perfect. Great. All right. Thank you, Priyanka, for holding the fort till then. All right. So, moving on. So, here's what we're going to do. Thank you for having your paper and colors with you. We're going to need it immediately in the next few minutes. तो आगे बढ़ते हैं. In the next piece, we're going to play with our screens a little bit. ठीक है? हम हमारे screens के साथ खेलने वाले हैं थोड़ा सा, because that's exactly what we did or helped with our children in our school space, and we realized this is something we could try with all of us. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to invite or ask all of us first to move away from the screen. You should not be seen at all. पूरी तरह से बाहर निकलेंगे. And you're going to enter the screen just using your little finger. Only your little finger comes in, and then your whole body can come in. Okay. Next, we are going to try and enter our screen from one corner of it. कोई भी कोना पकड़िए, आप उस कोने से आप स्क्रीन के अंदर आएंगे. And you're going to make yourself as large as you can on the screen. आपकी नाक को पास लेकर आकर आप कितना बड़ा बना सकते हैं, आप बनाएंगे. How big can you make yourself on the screen? All right. Let's come back.
I can count my eyebrows. My hair over my eyebrows.
Fabulous. Okay. Great. Thank you so much for being a part of this as well. A quick sort of moving piece that we could do. If we had more time, we would ask you to do many more different things. Maybe walk very far away from the screen and come back. Maybe come in dancing, come in as a wave, different things that we could do and can just engage with our screen. All right. From that, we are going to move into our next piece. इसके लिए जैसे प्रियंका ने कहा था, you will need paper and colors with you. Have those ready. अगर अभी नहीं है, please take 30 seconds, get them and come from wherever you may be seated. Give us a quick thumbs up अगर आपके पास colors और paper आपके हाथ में है. Let us know in the chat या thumbs up दीजिए या chat में बताइए जब आप तैयार हैं. Okay, thank you, Sultana. We'll wait for a few more people. Darshika, Vrushali, Vaibhav, any of you. Once you are ready, please share in the chat that you are. Thank you. Okay, I see a few thumbs up coming. Great, great. Yes, you are ready. Kashish, thank you so much. Lovely. So here's what we're going to do, all right? I'm going to now invite all of us to actually visualize, close our eyes for a few minutes. We're going to visualize in our mind one thing from nature, anything from nature that brings us deep joy and warmth. ऐसी कोई एक चीज नेचर में से जो हमें बहुत ज्यादा खुशी, शांति, एक warmth देती है, ऐसी कोई भी एक चीज. For example, it can be पानी, it can be a bonfire, it can be just the mountains or soil, the feel and the touch of soil. Anything that gives you joy, a flower, anything that comes to your mind जब आप nature के बारे में सोचते हैं, bring that image to your mind. Feel free to close your eyes and do this if you feel that's better for you. And what we are going to do is, we are going to try and embody that object. यानी हम उस चीज की तरह बन चुके हैं, इसके बारे में सोचेंगे. अगर मैं पानी बनती हूँ, या अगर मैं आग बनती हूँ, अगर मैं एक पत्ता बनती हूँ, तो क्या मूवमेंट मेरे बदन में आता है, क्या थॉट्स आते हैं, क्या फीलिंग्स आते हैं when I imagine my body, myself, becoming one of these objects in nature. Imagine yourself just being that, becoming that. What movement is emerging? क्या movement emerge हो रही है? अगर आप करना चाहेंगे बदन में उसे, feel free to do it. If I'm thinking of wind or a breeze, and if I want to move my body like the breeze, feel free to do it. Whatever it is in your mind, I'm going to play a piece of music as you begin to imagine. When you hear the music, if your body feels like moving, If you feel like wanting to stand up, take space and move away from your laptop, feel free to do it. Whatever you feel like in the moment, allow your body to experience that. Think of something that gives you deep joy and warmth from nature. Become that.
It's not loud enough.
Do you want me to play?
Sorry, could you hear?
No.
All right. No problem. Stay with it. The music will come in. Spend some time in just trying to visualize this object and becoming it. Can you hear now?
I can't hear.
All right. Priyanka, if you can help with the music piece because I'm unable to play it here. No worries. Priyanka, are you playing a bass?
Can you hear?
Yeah.
Softly. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, we can hear
Okay,
you.
great. So if you can also hear the music in the background right now,
Yes.
what we'd like you to do is this. Take any color that comes to you right now, and on your paper, जो भी movement आपके body में निकल आया, whatever your body felt like doing, feel free to take that color and express it on paper. आपको कोई shape बनाना है जरूरी नहीं है. आपको पेड़ या आपको फायर या पानी बनाना है जरूरी नहीं है. Whatever the music is making you feel, what that object in your mind is making you feel, you can reflect it on paper. We're going to spend a few minutes just doing this. Feel free to just express yourself on that piece of paper. slowly begin to close your movement on paper. Whatever has emerged on the paper, slowly bring it to a close. Some last strokes, some last lines. Take a minute, take a moment to place your color down, to look at what has come up. As you heard the music, as you thought about this object in nature, as you became that, as you embodied it, what came up for you? How did it make you feel in your body, in your mind? What has come up on that paper for you? Bring yourselves to this present moment. If we could see all of your art, we would have loved for you to share it up. In a classroom space, that's what we would have done with our children, ask them to show what they've made up. But because this is in the space that we're in, we hope that you can see what has come up for you. We hope that you can make some meaning out of it. हम हमारी ये हमारी आशा है कि आप देख सकते हैं क्या आया है, आप उसको क्या मीनिंग बनाते हैं, आपके लिए वो चीज की क्या मीनिंग है, वो आप जान पाते हैं.
Some of them can share what they have thought
Absolutely.
about
What
to
we would like,
imagine
जी हाँ,
on
what we
chat.
would like you to do is chat में बताइए, share करके बताइए, what are thoughts that are currently in your mind? क्या उभर के आ रहा है? ये करते वक्त क्या महसूस हुआ? As you sit with the art right now, what are you thinking? What's coming up for you? We'd love for you to share. We would read what you have written. Waves, high and low, and steady waves. Thank you, Darshika. Such a lovely way of thinking about it, right? There's high, there's low, and then there's just steady waves. We'll wait for a few more. और लोगों के लिए रुकेंगे.
Just a few seconds. If doesn't come, we continue.
Sure.
Some responses. I think we continue. Let's continue.
All right. We hope that you could be with us through this experience. These are a few things and a few examples of experiences जो हम share करना चाहते थे, जो हम बच्चों के साथ pandemic के through कुछ चीजें जो काम आई. And the idea of centering well-being at the core of it all in our work, a few examples. What I will do now is pass it on to my colleague Priyanka. We've got one chat that's come in. Connect to a seashell. Fibonacci spiral kept expanding and making me feel belonged in the universe.
In the universe.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Kashish. Such a beautiful image in the mind as well. The Fibonacci spiral that you can see. Lovely. Spiral lines from high to low. Thank you, Vrushali. Very, very interesting. Thank you so much for engaging with this, for staying with it. I'm going to pass it on to Priyanka, who will take you through how this looked like for us with our class, with children in school, few insights from them. Thank you, Priyanka. Over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Saesha. Um, Thank you all of you for engaging in the first half. Now we will share some of our insights. Like we were working throughout the pandemic lockdown. So what were our learnings and insights? So as we work with students from low income communities, after lockdown was announced in India, a lot of our families faced a lot of difficulties, like lack of resources. Students couldn't attend online classes, so throughout the year we could hear a lot of difficulties and challenges faced by our students and their families, right? So some of our students also lost their like relatives, family members, and it was kind of important for us to engage and create those spaces where they could process those emotions, grief, sadness, loneliness, students not being able to play outside. So we wanted to create that safe space where students could want to come, right? Saisha, you're sharing the screen. So as school, it became our priority kind of to keep checking on our students, like how are they doing, how are their family members doing. So initially I remember we started doing check-in calls with the students and their families, like what is happening, what are in what ways we could help them. Next slide. So every class that we started, either it is virtual or offline, every sessions that we started, it started with some check-in, check-ins where we ask certain prompts like how are you feeling, did you eat something or not, uh, how is the family member doing. And we knew students, we were doing these classes in the morning, right? So students would feel sleepy, they wouldn't want to sit in online classes because it was kind of little boring for them, right? So we used to do a lot of physical exercises, games, so that we wanted to make sure that students are learning, but also to how to make it more fun and engaging, because it was happening on daily basis, right? So this is something, these are some pictures from our classes, like how we were doing emotional check-in, how we were doing some physical exercise, yoga, zumba classes, whatever we were doing. Next. uh, So this also sort of became very important for us. The child's lived experiences come before any textbook learning. We realized that as students didn't had access to a lot of materials, how could we make the home as learning space? So we knew that they might. Sorry.
No, I said yes, making home as a learning space. Yes,
Yeah,
that's a good thing.
yeah. uh, because we realize that pandemic है तो learning loss काफी होने वाला है, but making advantage of what are the resources available at their home. For example, you could see those two pictures in this PPT, like students are making a tower out of the vessels whatever was there in their home. This child, like lot of us play with toys or games or whatever it is. This child, I remember he was sharing that how this pet in his house helped him wake up early in the morning so that he could attend the classes. So these were some of the conversations that I had with them, which made me realize like how knowing the students background, like what are the things that they have and how to utilize them in the classes, was one of the biggest highlight for me. Next, a lot of time was invested in doing well-being calls to the caregivers, right? Because we realized that a lot of them lost their jobs. They also kind of needed that emotional support from us. So a lot of our time was invested in health and well-being of caregivers. And whenever we were doing any activity with the students, we involved parents. We opened a resource center where we had lot of tabs, internet access. Students would come there and attend sessions. um, yeah. Saisha, did I miss something?
So you have finished with your presentation, Priyanka. Yes.
Saisha?
So we wait for questions to come in.
Yeah, yeah.
You all want to say anything more? You want to add anything? Yeah, you
I
unmute
was
yourself.
not able to unmute.
हाँ. अरे write to Imtiaz. Go back and come back.
Please join again.
Join again.
Yeah.
I think as Saisha is trying to join, if we can have questions coming in.
At the moment, the question answer session is empty. There are no questions.
Yeah.
So waiting, maybe in the chat box some will come. Sesha is not back. She'll come
I
back.
don't think so.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, yes, Sesha.
Okay. Ragna ma'am, can you speak? Because I don't think I can hear you all.
We can hear
Uh,
you.
yeah, we can hear you.
I
You
can't
can't
hear.
hear me. So I think go on stage. Can you go on stage? Because only your picture is there on
Am
the
I
screen.
audible?
Yeah, yeah, you
Yeah.
are audible. Okay, there is one question coming in by Rekha Menon. Priyanka, what are some of the challenges you faced?
Okay. Saisha, do you want to speak before? Acha, theek hai, she's left. Okay. So as I shared before, Rekha, some challenges were like access of devices and internet was big issue, because when we moved online, everything, our session, our check-in activities or whatever, everything was online. तो उनके पास वो एक्सेस ही नहीं था डिवाइस का या फिर इंटरनेट का जहाँ पे वी कुड कनेक्ट. सो दैट वाज वन ऑफ द चैलेंज. सो व्हेन वी स्टार्टेड, लाइक एज आई सेड कि हम लोग ने रिसोर्स सेंटर खोला जहाँ पे टैब्स थे, इंटरनेट था, एंड एनीवन कुड come there to attend sessions. We realized that because we were working with students from say first, second, third grade, so just to keep small kids engaged during throughout the session was kind of a challenge, because kids get restless, they want to do more stuff where they could play, they could touch, feel stuff, but that was not possible. So that was one of the challenge. Apart from that, uh, because we were talking to a lot of our parents, just helping them emotionally, financially was kind of a challenge, because uh, we knew that a lot of them were losing out their jobs. They were sitting home, there were a lot of violence, there was kind of, I mean,
Aggression in them.
mismanagement of all the emotions. So, and
Uh,
that was actually impacting our students' behaviors, their engagement in the class. So, just to navigate all that situation, because everything is interconnected, so how to navigate that was kind of a challenge, because a lot of stuff was not in our hand. We could only do certain things, right? So actually bringing, making that boundary कि हम इतना ही कर सकते हैं, उसके आगे में भी we can't do lot of things, right? So that was a challenge कि दिक्कतें तो पता चल गई, challenges तो पता चल गए, लेकिन अब इसको साथ में navigate कैसे करें.
there's a second question coming up. How we would integrate in the face-to-face classroom?
Integrate as in?
I think key
Maybe
activities को जो आप
integrate the
जैसे
activities that you do face-to-face in the classrooms, the kind of activities you just did, or maybe some other activities connecting to the child's emotions.
Yeah. So as I said कि हमारा जो भी क्लास होता है, ऑनलाइन ऑफलाइन वॉट एवर इट इज, देर इज अ स्टार्ट where we sit, relax, we settle in the space, जैसे अभी हम लोग ने किया, right? This was online. So similarly, a bunch of kids may be sitting on their benches. We just sit, relax with some music, trying to process or settle down in the space कि अभी हम लोग घर से में भी क्या हो क्या आया है, अभी मुझे क्लास में अभी वापस से जोन इन करना है, तो मुझे क्या क्या चीजों की जरूरत है, मे बी जस्ट टू वेंट आउट. मेरे को भले ही घर में इतना कुछ नहीं हो, लेकिन मैं बात कर पाऊँ उस चीजों के बारे में, दैट क्रिएट्स अ ह्यूज इम्पैक्ट इन द क्लास, आई गेस. And when it comes to offline school, a lot of uh, क्या बोलते हैं, बहुत ज्यादा हमारे चीजों में पावर होता है, आई वुड से, बिकॉज यू नो you can see students directly. If you want to help them, if you want to talk to them, if you want to engage in any kind of conversation, they are in front of you, and you can just finish it there and there, right? लेकिन ऑनलाइन में कैसे होता है, if students are keeping their videos off and you don't know what
Yes.
they're saying or what they're doing behind the
Yes.
cameras, right? But i
Difficult. Yeah.
i feel offline there is a lot more scope to help them, to support them, or just to be there together.
Be there for them.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes.
If I can just
Yeah.
add to what Priyanka also said, because Vaibhav has asked, kitna, how much time is better in the whole day schedule? So,
Yeah.
as Apnishala, as at our organization, one thing I think, so the school we work at, which is the Code School, we have a dedicated time for social emotional learning, which is entire this gamut of navigating our emotions, recognizing it, बच्चों के साथ कर पाना इसे, तो offline हो या online, this space of doing SEL, children understanding about themselves, their emotions, about each other, about cultures, about diversity, relationships. A lot of this happens in that time, which is slotted. It is a part of our daily schedule, which means as much as language learning is important, so is SEL. And so social emotional learning becomes a part of their day. तो इसमें एक आधा से 40 मिनट्स कम से कम टीचर्स कई बार इनफैक्ट इट गोज बियॉन्ड दैट बिकॉज कॉन्वर्सेशंस होते हैं, बच्चों को बात करनी है, तो एक 45 मिनट तक का तो टाइम आराम से हो जाता है, बट इट इज स्केड्यूल्ड इन द डे. Apart from that, because it's an SEL integrated school, and the hope is to keep finding ways to integrate it in other spaces. So, for example, Priyanka too works entirely with her children through the day, which means जब वो language कर रहे हैं, जब वो math कर रहे हैं, चीजें क्योंकि बच्चों के साथ हम जब एसईएल की बात कर रहे हैं, तो इट्स एन एंटायर थिंग दैट्स हैपनिंग थ्रू द डे. इट्स हाउ वी
Through
आर
the day.
इंटरेक्टिंग विद वन अनदर. तो वो लैंग्वेज क्लास में निकल आएगा या मैथ्स में निकल आएगा. तो मेकिंग कनेक्शंस इन डिफरेंट एरियाज. सो when they're doing literacy, the books we pick, the stories we bring to class are all from a lens of ensuring के social emotional learning के competencies, उसकी ideas कहीं ना कहीं हम बातचीत कर पा रहे हैं. So that's the vision, and that's how we try to work with. When you say कितना time better है in a day, तो एक allocated time तो है ही, but through the day also we try and integrate it.
So I have a question. How do you bring about these kind of activities to the children? How do you decide that what is appropriate for which age group?
Sure,
So
sure. Priyanka, go ahead. You can take this first.
I mean, it is, I mean, it is little different to, I mean, think about this question itself, because when I see SCL integration, or when I think about talking about social emotional competences with the students, I don't see age, because
Okay.
as we keep engaging with people around us, I think वो होता ही है. तो एज डजंट मैटर. यहाँ पे भी एक सवाल था कि 3 साल के बच्चों के साथ हम कैसे कर सकते हैं. आई मीन,
हाँ.
मुझे लगता है ये सभी के साथ हो सकता है. जितना हम लोग इसके साथ एंगेज कर पाते हैं, मे बी वो अलग अलग लेवल में दिखेगा. जैसे हम यहाँ पे बैठ के एटलीस्ट 5 मिनट
Yes.
तक वी कुड फोकस, राइट?
Yeah.
Maybe I would start with 3-year-old, just give them pen and paper or colors or whatever it is. Let them do whatever they want to do. इतने ज्यादा
Yeah.
prompts, इतना ज्यादा instructions
नहीं
शायद से वो
मिलेगा.
नहीं ले पाएंगे. But
Hmm.
when it comes to अगर एक्सप्रेस ही करना है इमोशंस, या फिर काम ही करना है खुद को, इट कैन हैपन इन एनी वेज. इट इज नॉट ऐसे एक सेट फॉर्मूला कि ये पर्टिकुलर वे में ही जाना है या फिर ऐसे ही होना है. दैट्स वन थिंग. एंड ऑल्सो आई थिंक वी हैव अ करिकुलम. अगर कोई नया इंसान आता है, या फिर मान लो किसी को नहीं पता है कि कैसे करना है, तो उसमें बहुत सारी गाइडलाइंस दी है कि हाउ कैन वी स्टार्ट विद से 3-year-old, 4-year-old, 5-year-old, या फिर
Yes.
उससे बड़े लोगों के
Yeah,
साथ.
exactly. That is what I was saying, because you can't do something symbolic with very young children. They have to go through certain stages and certain levels before they go on to symbolic.
Yes, so things are made very concrete and pictorial. So even with
हाँ.
emotions, जब emotional check-in, क्योंकि जूनियर केजी के बच्चे भी हैं, जूनियर सीनियर केजी के बच्चे जब होते हैं, या grade 1 के बच्चे जो हैं हमारे, with them as well, and even as young as 3 years, Pictures
Yeah.
सामने जब देखें,
Hmm.
children being able to point out आज, so
Yeah.
when you saw the image that we shared, Priyanka भी class में जब online करती थी, she would have smiley faces and the
हाँ,
child will resonate with something कि I'm feeling really agitated तो मेरा ये
हाँ,
image है या I'm feeling fine, I'm feeling happy तो
हाँ.
वो एक image होगा. So them being able to pick that would help.
Yeah. Any more questions?
One reflection that I
Rekha
can.
Menon has appreciated your workshop. Wonderful way of navigating through the challenges.
Thank you, appreciate it. Thank you so much for being here and engaging with us. I know that there have been technical issues as well, but really participating and asking us your questions as well. I think we do have time for a few more if there are.
Yes, that's what I'm looking for. Great work, Vaibhav has said. Important areas you are focusing on. I'll again look. I think there is one. There is a red. Let me see. Huh. Huh. Same thing.
Hmm.
Same thing, Priyanka. What were the challenges you
Yeah.
faced? Yeah, the questions you have already answered. So we have 6 more minutes to end. Any more questions? Anything you
And
both of you would like to say?
we're glad that we also are well within time because the fear was
Yes.
that with technical issues we might actually run over.
Yeah, because you have to go back home because you're in office, right?
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Priyanka, anything that
So,
you want to share as last thoughts?
Hmm.
You're good.
Yeah, I'm good.
I think one thing that if we have to leave everyone with as an organization, as part of the coach team, something that really I think stayed with us was that we realized how important focusing on well-being and centering that became in the work we were doing during the pandemic, even more so, because learning loss becomes yes the focus of, especially with young children as well. Will milestones be met? Will they struggle because they are losing out on so many things which should happen in school? This idea that yes, of course, kinesthetic learning and being able to engage with things was crucial, but being able to just shift that perspective to say that घर भी स्कूल बन सकता है, बहुत सारी चीजें हैं जहाँ से बच्चे सीखते हैं घर में आसपास, पेरेंट्स साथ हैं तो कैसे. सो आई थिंक उस पर्सपेक्टिव को शिफ्ट कर पाना कि इट्स नॉट सो मच अबाउट कितना इंग्लिश और मैथ हो रहा है या कितनी वो लोग एबीसी और एडिशन सब्ट्रैक्शन कर पा रहे हैं, वो जरूरी है, बट आई थिंक जस्ट इंश्योरिंग दैट हर चीज में केयर का एलिमेंट है क्या. पहले हम उनके बारे में पूछ रहे हैं क्या, फैमिली के बारे में पूछ रहे हैं क्या, बच्चे कैसा महसूस कर रहे हैं आज क्लास में. Just being able to be aware of those things, I think, helped all of us sail through. Teachers also, just their well-being, them being able to focus on that for themselves first, taki when they come into a pandemic class, when they're coming into a virtual space, they are feeling a little more comfortable to support children. So I think that.
I have one question,
Sure,
Sesha. So,
sure.
your socio-emotional learning activities, they have an impact on children. So, what kind of behavior does it bring about? The changes in behavior it brings about in children. What have you seen? How they
And
are before and how they are after?
sure. I'll share a few things. Priyanka will be best to add on to that because she's working with the children in class. But a few things I have seen, even from my space as a curriculum person and being in class, is that बच्चों का जो एक खुलापन होता है बात कर पाने में चीजों के बारे में, अपने बारे में. The understanding that there are things that happen with me, there are things that I experience that I would like to talk about. My opinion matters. From as young as first grade, second grade के बच्चे, तो वो एक खुलापन होना दैट आई कैन शेयर, मैं बात कर सकती हूँ इन चीजों के बारे में, बोल सकती हूँ. मुझे अगर कुछ अच्छा नहीं लग रहा है उस चीज के बारे में भी बोल सकती हूँ. तो हमेशा एक पॉजिटिव ही स्पेस में रहना है. स्कूल का मतलब है मजे ही मजे. दैट अंडरस्टैंडिंग बिगिंस टू डेवलप दैट आई एम अ कॉम्प्लेक्स पर्सन, देयर आर कॉम्प्लेक्स थिंग्स हैपनिंग, एंड आई थिंक वो एक दिखाई दिया है बिकॉज वी टॉक सो मच about just SEL in class and in school. Priyanka, anything you want to add?
I mean, I think in just addition to what Saisha said, uh, वी कैन सी विजिबली जो चीजें दिख रही
प्रियंका
है,
अनम्यूट करना होगा.
अनम्यूट किया है.
हाँ.
I can hear. Yeah.
हाँ, विजिबली जो चीजें मुझे दिख रही है एज अ क्लास टीचर इज वन, most of them are able to recognize what they are feeling or experiencing. For example, I have a lot of time in the class कि दीदी मुझे गुस्सा आ रहा है, दीजिए मुझे आज बहुत खुशी हो रही है, आज मैंने टिफिन में ये लाया है, मुझे बहुत खुशी हो रही है. तो ये सारी चीजें जो रिकग्नाइज कर पाना और इसको एक्सप्रेस कर पाना इज समथिंग दैट आई कैन सी. a lot of time we also talk about कि अगर मान लो गुस्सा आता है and there is a certain way of expressing गुस्सा, तो कुछ चीजें क्लास में नहीं अलाउड है, तो दूसरी कौन कौन सी चीजें कर सकती. आई हैव सीन किड्स ओपनिंग अप द बॉटल एंड ड्रिंकिंग, तो मुझे गुस्सा आ रहा है मैं पानी पी रहा हूँ, तो वो ऐसे कुछ कुछ चीजें अपने
That's
क्लास.
good.
हाँ,
Yeah. Oh, very good. Yeah, yeah.
तो वैसे कुछ कुछ चीजें क्लासरूम में दिखती है.
That's very nice to know.
Yeah.
So we end the session. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Vaibhav has asked something in the chat. He says, as a teacher,
Yeah.
what mindful practices you are doing to center yourself? I think all the things that we try to do with children, the idea very, like it's something that at ASF we practice, at अपनी शाला we practice just essentially कि पहले हम करें और हम सीखें, तभी ही it only can it go to children
Yes.
through us. So everything that we do, we first try and experience those things. So mindfulness के understanding हम कर पाना उसकी practices. So in all our team meetings, everything is structured around these practices. So we'll begin with those check-ins. Every meeting, every supervision meeting, every team meeting will all have these practices in place, so that we first are consistently doing it and experiencing it in our workday. तो something very simple as well-being का एक well-being leave करके एक concept होना organization में, that when I am feeling mentally, emotionally strained, I have a space to reach out to ask and take that time off. तो छोटी छोटी चीजें हैं जो help a lot, I think, in how we practice it.
Thank you very much, both of you. Very engaging and very meaningful workshop. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much. Thank you,
And
Priyanka, for having me.
participants, you all have been very enthusiastic with all your comments. And I thank you for that. Keep this enthusiasm going for the second day of the workshop. Hope to see you there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye
We
bye.
appreciate
Good
all of
day.
you
Good
being here.
night.
Good
See
day,
you.
good night, good evening.
Good night.
Bye. Good night. Ragna ma'am, we can leave then.